Hello, everyone. Welcome to Millennial Made. My name is Rod, and I'm in my apartment, filming for the first time. So let's get this set up, shall we? Really important. I just want to let everyone know we are all officially, collectively making the switch to macadamia milk because I found out the oat milk isn't as good for you as I thought it would be, and macadamia milk slaps. It's so good. Highly recommend trying it. Hold on, listen. Oh, and obviously we have to manifest a good day. So manifesting a good day for us all. You know, I like to usually make uplifting content and talk about things like mental health, the workplace, nostalgia, which we will get into in a little bit. But today, I wanted to discuss something with you all. Like I said, it's July 5th. And yesterday here in Chicago, something truly tragic happened. And I know I have a pretty large Chicago following, and I don't want to discount any other times something like this has happened. It's just, it was very eye-opening that it happened so close to home. In the Chicagoland area, there was a shooting yesterday where, as of right now, 6 people were killed and dozens were affected by this as well. And even, you know, the ripple effect of mental health and families and friends being affected by this. And I'm not a news source unless it comes to letting you know when the bump it is returning or what words Gen Z is using these days. But I do want to talk a little bit about this because we do talk a lot about mental health and taking care of yourself. And it is nearly impossible at this point in this country, especially the past few weeks that we've had to be able to do that. We've had rights stripped away. We've had the government do inexplicable things to us that are taking away the feeling of a free country. So it was very interesting yesterday to watch people celebrate independence when independence is a very loose term right now. I did want to read from NPR just so I can talk a little bit about this because I know I have a large Chicago audience. And again, this isn't to educate or inform you on what happened, but it's more of just to recognize and just know that the thoughts that I have are with the family and friends that were affected by the people in the Highland Park shooting yesterday. So what began as a beloved July 4th tradition ended in tragedy after a gunman opened fire on a holiday parade in the Chicago suburb of Highland Park, Illinois on Monday morning, killing 6 people and injuring dozens more. So for those of you that are not familiar with the geography of Chicago, Highland Park is a northern suburb, right? And I know Chicago has this stigma of violence. And you know what? The entire country is violent right now. Mass shootings are happening everywhere. I think it was eye-opening for a lot. I live in the city and I grew up close to the South Side. My dad works in the South Side. So I've seen it for years, you know, and I do my best to help there when I can. But I think it was eye-opening for a lot of people in this community to see it happen in what's called a, lack of a better term, a wealthier suburb, or I know the word affluent is thrown around, which could mean a couple different things is what I'm learning. So they found the suspected shooter, and given his social media, it has seemed premeditated what had happened, which is just so disappointing because it seems like a trend, this premeditation of taking innocent lives. The suspect used a high-powered rifle to fire on the crowd from a roof of a nearby business, which he allegedly accessed with an unsecured ladder that was attached to the building. He was a local of the community. He was from here. It wasn't someone who came in and, you know, performed this act from outside the community. It was someone inside this community. And I think it just goes to show the control we need. And I mean, it has been for the past years. I mean, we grew up in this, you know, generation of this millennial generation of, you know, life-altering tragic events that we've seen from basically our birth. But I just remember being where I was for the Columbine shooting even, you know, and how tragic that was. And I think that was the first one that I remember where I was for it. And to see that we're still exactly where we were at that time is just wondering what it's going to take. Yet, in the Supreme Court, SCOTUS decisions are to take away the rights of women, right? Or to try to change voting laws, or don't say gay. I saw something the other day, and I want to see if I'm not sure how legit it is, but on TikTok, a teacher said that he had to take down a photo of him and his partner because the parents were concerned what message it would get across to the children. Yet there are literally people out there being able to purchase a weapon that is changing not only the lives of those killed, but others around them. Right. So I think all this to say, take care of yourself right now. Even I was scrolling Twitter yesterday, and I saw, it wasn't a doom scroll. That's my biggest piece of advice. And things like this happen. Definitely educate yourself, understand what's happening, figure out what you can do to help. I donated to Everytown. I will find an organization similar as well, and I was matching donations to Everytown. So that's a really big one for gun prevention. But it was interesting to see the NRA. Let me just. I'm not trying to give clout to the NRA. But this tweet that they posted yesterday was just insane to me. It said, "Happy 4th of July, America. We are a country because of brave souls with guns who valued and fought for liberty and freedom." They tweeted that yesterday. They didn't take it down. And 2 mass shootings happened yesterday. There was another one in Philadelphia where policemen were shot at. And there was this video that I saw of fireworks going on in the background because it was during the fireworks show. But people running, screaming. And it was so dystopian that it was just like this day that many people celebrate. Chicago, I think that was another thing for Chicago. Chicago is such a big summer city. 4th of July is a big holiday for us because it is, one of the few holidays that we get to celebrate when it is warm out and we get to enjoy the outdoors. And then for this to happen, just definitely put a damper on the city. But I wanted to touch on something because I was a history major, and I wanted to read a little excerpt that Thomas Jefferson wrote to James Madison. You could say DM, he direct message to James Madison in 1789. The more we film here, we're gonna get a lot of this because I'm right in the city here. So enjoy those city sounds, people. Thomas Jefferson, who is if you don't know, the main author of the Declaration of Independence, the first document that we as a country forged together to declare our independence, right? We're talking about independence. He said, "I said on this ground, which I suppose to be self-evident, that the earth belongs in usufruct to the living, that the dead have neither powers nor rights over it." And if you go on to read this document, you can read the whole letter. It was written in 1789. You can just put a quick Google Thomas Jefferson to James Madison, because James Madison was one of the main authors of the Constitution, which is what we still abide by. He said that he does not think, he said the Constitution should be rewritten every 19 years, a full rewrite. The fact that we've had, voting laws that take decades to pass through, right? And that we're going backwards right now because we are going off of the original document that this country was built on. So that NRA tweet, that was written when we had people invading our land trying to take it back, which we invaded the land in the first place. That was a whole other situation. But we were defending our country, right? Or defending our independence. This isn't defending independence, NRA. This isn't defending independence. The people who are trying to keep these gun laws active. It is the ability to just, take a life. You want to talk about inhumanity? I know that the SCOTUS decision, that was what a lot of the people were using as their background. Inhumanity is what happened yesterday. These 6 lives, these policemen that were shot at in Philadelphia, the mass shootings that had happened all year. That is inhumanity. That is inhumanity. So sorry to put a damper to start this conversation and this podcast. And I do appreciate those who have listened. And I'm still learning this podcast game. This is the first time I'm filming from home. But I just wanted to talk about that a little bit so I can send love and send support to those who are affected by this. If you were affected by this, please DM me or whatever. I would love to help in any way that I can. I know that there's some GoFundMes out there for the families, but I saw, not to keep harping on this, but I saw a video of a dad saying he had to put his kid in a dumpster to protect him. Imagine being a father, being there, trying to protect your family, and there's the only safe place you could put your child in outdoors is a dumpster because there's someone on a roof. You don't know where anything's coming from. It's truly barbaric. It's truly sad and depressing. And so when other generations or when other people are like, well, why are millennials so depressed? It's like, take a look, help us, give some control. I know New York just, I don't know if they passed the bill or what, where when you're purchasing a gun, you have to provide your social media handles, because I think that's the trend we're seeing is this man, I'm not even going to give his name. I'm not going to give him any clout. If you go to his social media handles, he had a music video where he referenced things that could very well tell that he was going to commit this act. So I think that's a step in the right direction, and I hope other people follow suit. So to those of you who are listening who, like I said, may be affected by this, I want to help. I want to be able to send love, send support. And if you yourself, are not directly affected, but it is terrifying, stepping outside and not knowing what's going to happen that day. Take care of your mental health. Talk about it to your therapist. I think even with me in therapy, I have the feeling that I have to talk about specific things that I went to therapy for, because I do have a lot going on in my life, a lot of big changes, and, people that I need to, reconcile with and have communication with. But also, you can't work more effectively. You can't avoid burnout if you aren't taking care of yourself first. So if you need a mental health day, take a mental health day. If you need help from your boss, let your boss know. And hopefully you are working for a company that does value your mental health in this, and that is making sure that you're okay. And if you're not, do what you can to find what is a good fit for you, and don't ever feel like you need to be somewhere that isn't prioritizing your mental health. Oh my God, my roof is leaking. I wanted to discuss quickly with everyone how I feel like happiness doesn't always come from within. We like to say it does, but sometimes external things can bring us joy, which inner peace is great and all. But what's better is making it to level 1,000 on Best Fiends. And that's what true satisfaction feels like. I personally like playing Best Fiends when I'm on a plane without Wi-Fi. I also love playing Best Fiends when I'm at a social gathering and instinctively go through for my phone and just start mindlessly scrolling social media. But instead, I can play Best Fiends and even bring it up to my friends, and it's a fun game that we even play together and compare which level we're on. I also, like I said, like to play it on an airplane or without Wi-Fi. You can play it anywhere without an internet connection, which is great. And you can collect tons of fiends that get powered up as you play more levels. Every win brings new challenges, thousands of puzzles to play. There's new in-game events added all the time. You can roll dice, you can spin a wheel, get new prizes, level up your fiends, which is a lot of fun. It's actually a very nostalgic game too, which I enjoy. With thousands of levels, there's always more to play. So go ahead and let enough is never enough be your mantra. Download Best Fiends for free from the App Store or Google Play. Plus, earn even more with $5 worth of in-game rewards when you reach level 5. That's friends without the R, Best Fiends. Download Best Fiends for free from the App Store or Google Play. Check it out. Let's get into it. A couple housekeeping things. If anyone out there has an in with Myspace, I want to talk. Can we talk? Because I want a revival. We deserve it. We've had a year. We've had 3 years. I feel like that's what's crazy about everything that's going on too, is we completely forgotten about this pandemic that we're living through because there's so many other crazy things going on in our world. I feel like I'm that meme of Charlie Day from Always Sunny where he's like pointing at like with the red lines and like with a cigarette in his hand. That's me right now because we have so many other crazy things going on in our world, and yet we had to worry about our livelihood with the disease, and now we have to worry about our livelihood with the rights being taken away or the lack of control that we have in this country. I'm done. But yeah, if anyone has an in MySpace, I think Justin Timberlake now owns it, and I'm not sure if you guys saw, but there was a rumor that Justin Timberlake has a hairpiece. So I think we have all been duped with that one. But you know what? Who am I to even talk? But it's just really interesting that that's what we hyper focus on. But if anyone knows Justin Timberlake, if anyone has an in at MySpace, I just want to talk. I want the serotonin that I got going on daily. I think I changed my layout daily. I'm not sure if you guys can let me know in the comments how often you changed your layout, but mine was pretty frequently, daily changing my layout so that I could keep up with my friends. And I would go back and forth between like just the classic blue to full goth to neon to sparkly. Like it was, because basically you could have like a moving GIF. I've talked about this in the podcast and I can't remember if it's GIF or GIF on the background. And I want that serotonin, the coding. I want to remember what it's like to. I want to remember if I first of all have the ability to still code MySpace, because we were hackers, man. We were in it. We knew what we were doing with the technology back then, and now I have an issue writing a subject line to an email. Yeah, back then, hacking away. And I want the serotonin. I want the serotonin of picking a song to go on my profile. That I had the widest range. My mood, you could read through my mood if you went on my Myspace page, because I was putting Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, which I had no right doing that. If you listen to Face Down, that song is not just, oh, I'm in my feels. It is a serious song that every time we touch Cascada, Bad Day, Dating About Her, I put quite often. Wow, I would probably use that song a lot more today too, if I'm being honest. Jason Mraz, a lot of Jason Mraz. And then I would purposely try to find indie artists that wanted to be cool. Death Cab for Cutie. I feel like Death Cab for Cutie is not talked about enough. I want to come up with a new username, and I think that would be so fun. And I think we could pass it along in our work days. Again, if anyone has an in, otherwise it's gonna be a quest for me to find a connection to MySpace. Second piece of housekeeping. I think I'm going to create a Slack channel that we can talk through while I'm filming this podcast, and that would be kind of cool. So keep an eye out for that. If you don't have Slack, if you have Teams, I'm sorry. Download Slack. It's really, I actually really enjoy Slack. It's very fun to, throw a GIF or GIF in there, some emojis. Let's talk hot goss with, what's the 411, with my work bestie right on Slack, which, speaking of, guys, you're about to get the good tea when you get a Slack from your work bestie saying, call me. Because it is way too good to put in writing on that. Because I'm not sure if you guys know this, but I think all employers have the right to read your Slack messages. Yikes. So clear that history, because your employer, they can log on. I think the employers that I've worked for that use Slack, they have often said that it wasn't, they wouldn't read it unless they had a reason to believe to read it, which I think is a really healthy environment to work in, to feel like, because at the end of the day, you do need someone to vent to and talk to. But if you need to do that, hop to FaceTime, hop to your phone, because, you don't, I've put that on my story, or I've talked about it on, TikTok or whatever, and people have said that they have lost their job because of previous Slack messages. So move it to your phone, guys. Maybe I'll make that an episode. Things I wish I would have known before going into the corporate world. What do you guys think about that? I think that's going to be a good one. Today, I wanted to talk about something that had a really deep impact on me this past week as well. Obviously not as deep as the goings on in the country. But did you guys know that there was not a movie with Sinbad called Shazam? Listen, I know there was one called Kazam with Shaq where he was a genie, but there was also one with Sinbad. I vividly remember Sinbad being dressed like a genie in this movie growing up. And that's why today's subject that I want to talk about is the Mandela effect. So first of all, Mandela effect definition is an observed phenomenon in which a large segment of the population misremembers a significant event or shares a memory of an event that did not actually occur. And the root of this definition was when many people believed that Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 1980s, when in actuality he passed away in 2013. Which I was still shocked at, because I even have vivid memories of my parents talking about Nelson Mandela, because I was born in 1990, but dying in prison in the 1980s. Thinking I read articles about it, thinking I learned about it in my history books. But that's not the case at all. So I think this has just gone so deep, because even Shaq thought this was real. Shaq thought it was a real event, this Shazam movie, because I think let me find it right here, because, okay, this is from an article on Our Community Now. It says, in May 2020, actor and sports star and now DJ, which if you've not seen, Shaq is a DJ, guys. His name is Diesel, and I saw him, and he is really good. He just puts on a good show. I think he's funny. Stated that if kids want to see him and Sinbad team up as Kazam and Shazam in an adventure-style genie movie, he'd put on that hilarious 90s costume and do it. And he said, of course I would, always for the kids. So even Shaq was duped by this Mandela effect. But the Sinbad genie movie doesn't exist. And I'm still in utter shock. But I thought what we could do right now is go through a couple other Mandela effect phenomena from our generation. The first one and this is, I think, it spans generations because I have vivid memories of reading this book series in my grandparents' house. At my grandparents' house, I know there's a cartoon at a certain point, the Berenstain Bears, and a lot of people think that the Berenstain Bears was spelled Berenstein. And it's a small one, but it's actually Berenstein Bears. The Berenstain Bears, not the Berenstain Bears. And I, again, just have vivid memory of sitting in my grandparents' house, seeing that on the shelves or checking out from the library, and it was spelled with the E. Another big one for me was that the Monopoly man didn't have a monocle. What? The man truly was in a full gentleman's outfit. The coattails, the top hat, and a monocle. But if you look at it now, you will see that he does not have a monocle. Same with the son on the Raisin Bran box of cereal does not wear sunglasses. Did you know that? Huh? No, you didn't. Because that son wore sunglasses. I'm devastated over this news. Absolutely devastated. Here's a big one for you. And these are all small. I think that's the biggest thing is like these are small things. And obviously I think it's just what our society, we have I think have just evolved it ourselves into saying these things, but now we truly believe that it's real. So you guys have all seen Forrest Gump. That movie with Tom Hanks, a classic, instant classic, defined us all as a generation. There's a saying that we like to say, people have put as their Instagram caption for years. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, right? It's not what Forrest Gump actually said. He actually said, if you listen closely, life was like a box of chocolates. What? Not life is like a box of chocolates. Which I will never, ever be able to recover from that one. Another movie quote, Star Wars. I'm not a Star Wars guy. I'm not even a Harry Potter. I've seen all the Harry Potters. I haven't seen all the Star Wars. I'm more of a Agent Cody Banks 1 and 2. That kind of, movie franchise. That's where I fall on the spectrum. But Star Wars, one of the most quotable lines is, Luke, I am your father. Didn't happen. It was Darth Vader only said, I am your father. There was no Luke before it. So I'm not sure if that one rocks your world. Another one, there's no hyphen in Kit Kat. It's just Kit Kat. But I know when I've purchased the candy Kit Kat, on the red packaging, there's a hyphen in Kit Kat. Another big one is the Flintstones has 2 T's. It's Flintstones, not Flintstones. So my vitamins growing up were either mispackaged or it is another Mandela effect moment. But I do think that we need now, Sinbad, if you're watching this, please come through with a much needed film. We need it from you. Steve came back for us this year. Blue's Clues Steve, I think you can do it too. I know the Sinbad movie, a lot of people are saying, well, no, you saw this movie with him. It was, hold on one second. He was in a movie called First Kid, right? And everyone's saying that's the movie that we think it is. And it's not. It's really not. Sinbad, if you're watching this, please recreate what Shazam would be. We need it. We need it more than anything right now. So homework for this week. MySpace, if anyone has a connection to MySpace, and if anyone has a connection to Sinbad, please, we need this Shazam to happen. I'm not sure, some life updates. I'm not sure if you guys saw Hocus Pocus 2, the trailer's released, which looks extra good, which I didn't know that Kathy and Sarah Jessica Parker, 2 of the witches, have like real life beef. Well, I don't know if they have beef because Sarah Jessica Parker and Kim Cattrall from Sex and the City, which that's another one, is people think that's another Mandela effect. People think it's Sex in the City, but it's actually Sex and the City. So I think that one's pretty split. Anyway, Kim Cattrall is not coming back for the reboot for And Just Like That because they had on-screen beef or they had real-life beef throughout the filming. Sarah Jessica Parker and Kim Cattrall. Now, Kathy, I think it's Nanjemi is how you pronounce her last name. Sorry, guys. I'm so bad with name pronunciations. And you might also know Kathy Nanjemi from the hit film that really we loved, Sister Act 1 and 2. Sister Act 2 is better than Sister Act 1, which we all know. But Kim Cattrall and Kathy Najimy are friends. and she spoke out in support for Kathy. Now, we know that Hocus Pocus stars 3 people, Kathy and Jimmy, Bette Midler, and Sarah Jessica Parker. So I'm wondering what's going on behind the scenes there. So that came out, and yeah, and guys, I think that this kind of format that I'm going to be doing here, filming from home, is going to be a little bit different, because I don't have the guests, but I just want to show you guys my true self, give you a little bit more insight into my life. I am working, I'm not sure if you guys know this, a couple things I'm working on. Spotify playlists, I have them there. I have like a link in my profiles for my socials that you can click on and see all of those. And just want to say that I appreciate you all. This has been a crazy couple of years, and the love that you have given me, and you guys educate me many times, even more than I thought I was educated already on subjects, and kind of keep me in check. And I love learning from you all. You guys have taught me things about myself, my personality, my identity, my body. And I think social media is truly a wild place, sometimes a really toxic place, but in a lot of ways it's a really good place. So look to those for support. Give yourself what you need in this time. Like I said, mental health days, it's the summer, things are slow. If people don't understand what we're going through as a country, or they feel the need to still pursue an email or follow up on an email, just be honest and be like, hey, a lot's going on right now. Can you chill out for a second? I think that's the best thing you can do for yourself right now. And at the end of the day, if they can't respect that, then that just kind of shows their character and how you need to take care of yourself from that. So I just wanted to thank all the millennials out there for listening to Millennial Made. Look forward to future episodes. If you have any ideas on what types of episodes you want, whether it be, I think it'd be fun to do a Gilmore Girls episode. It'd be fun to talk about the emo phases we went through growing up, what people were buying on Hot Topic, Spencer's Gifts, like all the nostalgic things there. I think that'd be fun to talk about. And obviously, any sort of work advice you need, please hit me up. We'd love to talk about it on the podcast here, and appreciate all of you for listening. Have a good rest of your day. Stay safe. Take care of yourself. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. And you can listen to this wherever you find podcasts, Spotify, Apple Music, all of that fun stuff. Love you all, and have a great rest of your day.